Guys, you will not believe what we just got today in the mail. Ooh, I'm so excited. Tickets to the Spongebob movie! Yeah! Oh, wait, hold on. No, it's tickets to the live-action Loud House movie. Oh, man. Duped again.
Alchemedia, Alchemedia. This is now the theme song, so enjoy the vibes. Hit like and subscribe, so live the life you live. Share with your many friends. Please take care from your friend Alex. Alchemedia, Alchemedia.
Hello, Alchemedians!
And welcome to another video.
As you can tell by your shirts, this is another SpongeBob episode.
Yep.
And we decided to do movies this time.
Yep.
Let's get right to it. It's the movies.
Yep. And we're gonna rank them from best to, or worst to best. And
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with these movies. There's little things that we dislike, little things we like, and just a bunch of we like and just a bunch we dislike. It's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
As a SpongeBob fan, it's great to get into this kind of stuff.
yes. And if you want to see any more content like this, please put it in the description.
And also hit that like button and subscribe and share with your friends. Let's get on with the list. Okay, and we both voted for these
Yes.
to put it together. And number 9, Atlantis Square Pantis.
You know, the true problem with this is it had so much potential.
Atlantis Square Pants is one of those special episodes.
I think they said it was 54 minutes altogether.
It didn't need to be 54 minutes.
It didn't need
That's
to be
another
30.
thing.
It didn't need to be 15 minutes. It didn't need to be made. It was. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The idea was great.
The songs were forgettable.
They
made it with music that was.
Yeah, you had these people that know the SpongeBob songs, and it's like they didn't care. Everything felt flat.
Yeah, and this will probably be tiered again in another season.
Honestly, I cannot think of a worse SpongeBob song than the one they did for the bus.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know what you're talking about, and you know what, that just... no, I know what song you're talking about, but I can't remember the lyrics.
Yeah,
but that's because most of the lyrics in this episode I forget anyway.
Yeah, and how do you get David Bowie and not give him a song? They just...
Yeah, and I feel like this was an episode they were trying to give, like, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy a purpose, but it didn't really go anywhere with those.
You know what? And the thing is, if that was the case, why did they take him away? It's like Sandy was only in it for like 3 or 4 minutes, so it's like, why put her in there at all?
Yeah,
it's
she was just happy there was like
science stuff.
Yeah, and Squidward was happy he could do art.
Yeah,
that's like their whole purpose. They even sang about it. And,
the whole episode was, I like I said, and there was a video game based around this. It was a terrible video game, but it's still a video game.
Let's see. Is there anything else to say about this movie?
I want to forget this one, so let's go.
And you know what? One more thing. It doesn't even feel like it does feel extremely short. It feels like a normal SpongeBob episode. Yeah. When it comes to like how long it is, even though it's longer than a SpongeBob episode, it feels about the same.
But at the same time, it feels extremely dragged.
Also, this one was extremely, what was the word? Popularized, or like...
Yeah, there was a lot of like marketing around this episode.
And it's a mystery. It's a mystery why this was, because there was like nothing really special about it besides David Bowie being there.
Yeah. Well...
And I ain't saying, again, like he said, didn't sing, just being there.
Yep. He had like think he was only there in the second half and even then he was only like basically a narrator.
All right. Number 8 is 2 movies.
Yes, and this is because we couldn't decide which one of these kind of should have been.
Frankly, I think we tried to think of which one was worse.
Yeah.
Like, there was SpongeBob SquarePants, Sponge on the Run, which I thought was not that good, and SpongeBob SquarePants Big Birthday Blowout, which, yeah. Okay, which movie do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Birthday Blowout.
I feel like that one's shorter to talk about.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
This one was shown on Nickelodeon for the most of, like, everything past 2021 or when it came out.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly the year it came out.
I remember it came out a certain year, and that's all they showed on Nickelodeon for SpongeBob for, like, 3 years.
There was a few new episodes, but not to the level of most seasons.
I remember, like, little parts of this episode. I remember seeing this episode, though, because it was playing, like, while I was at my grandma's, and it was just playing.
Mm-hmm. What I remember most about this was the whole, like, campaign of celebrities trying to cameo to, like, wish SpongeBob a happy birthday. That's what I remember about this. Now, I will say in the defense of this that there is one great part, and it is the part with the live action Krabby Patty. That was hilarious to watch, and I will watch that scene like as
live action Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
With, like, plankton. I did love that too.
Yeah. So, but besides that, it was
everybody. It was also a forgettable plot where, like, they tried to throw SpongeBob a birthday, and then everything kind of gets messed up.
Yeah, he was on a bus on the beach, and they really never explained why he was there. I mean, they did, but
it was a person driving him there.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah, I think it was like a trip to the surface. That was like the main point of the bus.
Yeah,
but I feel like the parties part kind of was pointless and forgettable.
Yeah.
Because all you kind of want to focus on is everything SpongeBob and Patrick are going through.
Yeah. But, again, I didn't hate the episode, I guess, but it just seemed like a lot of hype for not much.
I also love the ending where Patchy comes in and sings the intro. Because his head blew off and it went into the sea, and it was like, "Hey, SpongeBob, you want to sing the intro?"
Yeah,
I thought that was cute.
Okay.
Oh, and then there's Sponge on the Run on number 8 too.
Okay.
Which I am not a big fan of, based on the fact that I am a big fan of continuity, where, like, things like make sense in a timeline type thing. This just messes up everything for me. I feel like this... Okay, let's start from the beginning of this. Some of the jokes, I'll even be honest, not even that funny. I like the robot that Plankton hired, and then they taking it on a trip. And then Keanu Reeves came out as a Reeves. That was a funny part. Yeah. But there was a weird part. They went to the Wild West, and they had to survive because there was no water. And just... Snoop Dogg was there. It was wild. I was like, what was going on? And usually I'd laugh at those moments, but to me, I was just like, dude, what is going on? This is insane.
Yeah.
There's sometimes you gotta break a point of insanity and just be like, what is going on?
Okay, I understand that. But in its defense, the ending where it had everyone defending SpongeBob from the king, I thought that was an extremely good part, and I did actually really like Krabs and Squidward's. I mean, I know they weren't in it a lot, but I thought that they used them very well for the ending, and, like,
Sandy, let me tell you about Sandy, though. Sandy basically was the main point that really split between the timeline, because they show an episode where SpongeBob meets her, and then the TV show kind of splits into another TV show where they meet as kids.
Okay, yeah.
That hurts my brain. But the whole Neptune part, like stealing Gary, was...
Yeah.
I like that part because it just reminded me of the Gary Come Home episode.
Yeah. Now, I will admit that there was better episodes than Gary's Come Home to give the movie treatment to, if they were going to give the movie treatment to an episode. But like I said, I can't hate this episode because I did really like the ending.
I'll say,
but yeah, I don't mind that it fell here.
I think my favorite part of this was the gambling part when they were in Glove World. That was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. Oh, and the one joke that I actually found extremely hilarious was when Patrick and SpongeBob were in jail. No, they were fighting. They were still fighting. And Patrick opened the door to his SpongeBob and his cell just to go to another one because he felt that was...
Yeah, seemed like a classic Looney Tunes skit, and
that made me laugh audibly when I saw that. But other than that, not a big fan. Number 7, Snow Yellow. This was hilarious, yet so forgettable.
Yeah. And what we mean by that is, like, there's really no reason for it to be a movie length. You know, all the good jokes could have fit nicely into a 15-minute episode.
I will give it credit. I think people said, and we'll probably disprove this when we watch the newer seasons.
Yeah.
But they said that the jokes in the newer seasons have kind of got lazier. At this, I feel like doesn't show that, because there are a bunch of times I started laughing audibly because of how much, like, Karen being the villain. I thought that was creative.
Yeah.
Because, like, she wasn't square enough.
She was, the square.
And jealous of SpongeBob for being too square.
But again, like...
And I will say one bad thing about this. I think there are some other characters in this from SpongeBob that could have had other roles. Like, instead of Bubble Bass, they could have used Mr. Krabs just because he did it for money. And then he's like, you know what? I can't do it to my boy. He makes me money, so I can't do it. I know I was paid to do this.
And another thing is, honestly, there's a lot of jokes that I don't remember, and I literally just saw it only.
Oh, and Plankton wanting to be a bigger part of the story because he couldn't be.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, but that's a major
this,
part I remember. It's like...
For me, there was a lot of good jokes and a lot of, like, great parts to it. I just feel like there's, like, besides, like, Karen and SpongeBob being Snow White, of course.
Yeah.
There were a couple miscast stuff that was happening with it. It was good idea. It's a good idea, though. I think they should do this more.
Yeah, I think that
movies.
They could parody other movies with, not even just SpongeBob, other classic stories with.
Yeah, just copy the Muppets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do a parody of the Muppets.
I don't know how you do that, but okay.
Number 6, Saving Bikini Bottom, Sandy Cheeks movie.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people didn't like this movie at all, and I think that was a little harsh.
Yeah, definitely. That, like, honestly, this is the part of the list for me where it movies start getting way better and better.
Yeah, because it's like
Go ahead.
Also, it's like, I admit that the Sandy Cheeks movie was a little bit in that area of, it probably is trying to be for fans of not just SpongeBob but Camp Coral too, because it kind of bridges that gap a little bit. And I understand a lot of people don't like Camp Coral, but I think they tried to, keep it more SpongeBob.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of funny parts to this. I love Sandy Cheeks' family. My favorite part of this movie is the sidekick villains.
Yeah.
Because just they're hilarious.
Yeah. And then just randomly doing stuff. It's just
the only thing for me is I don't think SpongeBob should have been with Sandy during this movie, because I feel like he could have gone with the rest of Bikini Bottom while Sandy, quite literally the movie, goes to travel to save them.
Yeah. Also, the only thing I didn't really like is the whole thing of her being a flying squirrel, and we're just...
Also, remember, this is a musical. I forgot it was a musical, because most of the songs
Yeah, no, I remember the song about the family, but...
Most of the songs are kind of forgettable.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
I think the first song was like "Beautiful Bikini Bottom" or something like that. And I was like, "This is the most forgettable SpongeBob song I've ever heard."
I mean, yeah, I've heard worse songs, but yeah, I'll admit that it being a musical was completely unnecessary.
I forgot it was a musical for like 2 seconds, and then I had to remind myself. The Patrick jokes are funny. Like, most of the jokes in this were hilarious. Yeah. I will say that the jokes
hit somewhat. It's like, but the ones that didn't, at least they just moved on with. Like, they didn't like let it slow them down.
I will say the villain had a terrific plan. They took Bikini Bottom and moved it somewhere else. Wonder where they got that idea.
Okay.
All right. Time for the movie for number 5, or the movies of number 5. Next on number 5 is another tie. This one was more for the favorable one.
Yeah, this one is just we couldn't decide which one these should have taken there.
Yeah.
So here it is.
First, we're gonna talk about something I'm personally enjoyed. SpongeBob the Musical.
Or SpongeBob Live.
Yeah, I love that they brung in like the cartoon versions in the beginning and end, and just I love most things about this. There is some parts where when they're talking, it kind of gets stale and awkward.
Yeah.
I feel like Pearl's part in this was also really awkward.
Yeah, well, I think
she was a great singer. Don't get me wrong. I just think Pearl's part in this was awkward. But
probably.
Let me tell you, Patchy's singing was amazing, and they actually did Patchy, Tom Kenny, to do Patchy for a song. Isn't that amazing?
Now, the volcano storyline was...
It was done in an episode.
It was actually... I think it was actually done in 2 episodes. But it was... But this one, it's been a while since I've actually watched this, but I do remember...
Also, Plankton rapping. Remember that, kids.
Yeah, that gets a lot... Anyway. So...
Oh, and Ethan Slater as SpongeBob. I got so much to say about that.
Yeah.
Just that itself. He's amazing as SpongeBob, and he's an amazing actor. I'll say that. This is a start.
If they ever had to like just write out Tom Kenny, I would actually put him way up high as a SpongeBob replacement. But like I said, I do think this was better than it had any right to be. But like I said, But this is
and the songs are made by artists. That's another one. They were wrote by popular artists like Panic at the Disco. What's his name? Guy Made All of Me. Sang All of Me. All of Me.
I know who you're talking about. I can't like.
Plain White Tees.
Oh, that's not him. But
that's not him. But yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, the people who wrote the music, amazing. And now, next movie in the same place, SpongeBob: The Adventures of SquarePants.
Yes.
We were in theaters when we watched this.
Yep. And
I laughed so many times.
And I'm going to get a lot of people saying like how bad my opinion was, but I actually think that Mark Hamill actually worked better as the voice of Flying Dutchman than the original voice, because when they turned him live action, he was actually able to like move around. It wasn't just a voice anymore. It was him in a performance, and I think Hamill did a better job than the original voice ever could have.
I also love the story of this one because like it's just Flying Dutchman trying to be human again, basically.
I do think they
I don't know if this was based on.
It was based off a couple episodes, and it was based off the episode where I think it was based off the episode where Flying Dutchman turned them into ghosts because they shaved off his beard, and it was also based off the episode of SpongeBob trying to be like just an adult. You remember with his grandma, and sorry, not that one. It's the one where he was trying to. But anyway, I do think this idea has been done before, but I think they actually did a really good version.
If so, I couldn't remember the episode. I'll tell you, because I feel like this was like really well done for a plot to like go on for like the movie length. This is the first one in a while that it's like been in theaters.
Yeah, and they're releasing them on Netflix anymore, and I'm glad this was in theaters. I was actually a little bit disheartened when it didn't do as well as I think it should have. I think if they would have released it in like the spring, it would have done a little bit better.
I will say, wasn't Mr. Krabs basically the villain of this movie? Basically, he started out like saying, I know it was the Flying Dutchman basically, but like he was already telling SpongeBob he was just a little kid and baby in the first part of it.
I think he was not really the villain as so much. He was just a driving force. I do like Squidward scenes in this a lot, and I do think they use Patrick as a friend well, where some episodes, especially in the newer seasons, use him kind of as almost an enemy.
I thought Mr. Krabs was kind of mean in like the beginning of this episode.
Well, yeah, but Mr. Krabs is kind of just a mean character in a lot of episodes.
The last part of this movie, he wasn't mean at all. He was more...
Yeah, more grounded, more actually like a parental figure than anything.
I will say this is the funniest movie on this list, and we have more to get through. This is the funniest. I laughed. You should have been next to me like this guy was when
I do think that there was more jokes in this, in like 30 minutes of this movie than there probably was any other SpongeBob movie.
All right, on to number 4. Number 4, which we both put on our number 4s, Truth or Square.
Yep. No, this one is great. I love a variety episode, and
plus this has Robin Williams in it, so you know it's gotta be high.
Yeah, 100%. But them just having that variety episode of them climbing through those tubes, and then just having the 3 episodes, kind of makes it feel like a real SpongeBob episode. Just
I remember as a kid, like this being my favorite of like SpongeBob in general. I remember there was a game based off it that was also really good. I love that.
Yeah, that was a fun game. It really was.
I always had a blast playing it, even on the DS or Wii.
Anyway,
it's really good. I will say I don't remember much of. Oh wait, no. There were jokes in it.
Yeah.
There were good jokes in it.
No. There was definitely jokes in it. Again, there is that middle skit that I don't remember, but that's pretty normal. Because I actually compared this to one time I compared this to a Treehouse of Horror episode because it had the same kind of setup as the original Treehouse of Horrors, where things like the original Treehouse of Horror in The Simpsons was they were in the treehouse, and the treehouse was just a setup for the 3 stories, and that's what this was. It was, yes, they were in the Krusty Krab, but that wasn't really the point. They were just the stories were setting up, and I really like that whole dynamic of kind of showing that.
I think the one thing I always kind of get bored of is like before they went in the pipe and they're like trying to explain everything,
why they're there at all, and why it's an episode.
But like whenever it was because they went to the freezer because the thing was patty was melting.
Yeah, and I can understand that. But I don't think that low part actually makes it.
It still was like a really good one that always was part of my childhood memories.
And if I'm right, wasn't this the episode with Scurvy? Or was that another one?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's the song. If it was, that was one of the best songs. But if it's not, then I'm just,
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. Number 3. Do I even need to say it? It's the SpongeBob SquarePants movie,
the original movie, and from what some people think is the end of the actual series. I don't agree with that.
I don't either, but bro, this is a classic. It has classic written all over it. The memes, there were so many memes that came out of this. The plot of it, the live action portions, David Hasselhoff. It's David Hasselhoff! Yay!
The thing is, I will be the one person to say it, that there is a few problems with this, even though how much I love it. And that's why it's number 3. And one of the problems is that I think the pirate captain should have been Patchy.
I could see that. I could see that being a problem.
It's a small problem, but it is.
For me, I think it's number 3 because it's based off the 6 movies that are incredibly good, and we just had to find the best ones. Yeah. Like the SpongeBob Musical, SpongeBob Adventures, SquarePants. Yeah. All of them are memorable to the point of oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, I got a lot from this movie as a kid because I think it came out when I was the year I was born. 2004.
So. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing about this movie isn't even that the classic feel. I think it's the best thing about this movie is that how it was a point of the series where it did have a shift between what they considered the classic SpongeBob's and the more modern SpongeBob's. And while people have their opinions on modern SpongeBob's, I think that to have that almost like a passing of the torch from one series to the next.
I kind of disagree, but we'll find out the reason why in the next movie. Number 2, what's gotta be a movie I legitimately prayed for. SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. This movie, I just was so fascinated because I was like, bro, I literally prayed for this one night. I was literally like, can there be a SpongeBob movie where he's in live action where he could be a superhero? Quite literally.
And for me, I love the apocalypse setting and like, and just the jokes they were able to do with that, and
Yeah, though, and where everybody would be in an apocalypse setting,
and
how they went back in time. The reason they went back in time with in a old taco restaurant.
and just
The jokes in general were
yeah.
hilarious in this movie, and the live action portion, which was shorter than I originally thought, was really good.
And I love the fact that they did all that basically for Plankton's plan being taken by Antonio Banderas.
By the way, this was like when we first did this list, I totally didn't know that Antonio Banderas was Burger Beard. And that surprised me even more because he does not look it. He does not look anything like Antonio Banderas. Burger Beard looks nothing like Antonio Banderas. I couldn't even tell from the voice, even though it's basically the same voice.
Yeah.
I would even say Mr. Krabs was a jerk in this movie
he
or
really
anything.
wasn't, and I do like the redemption they gave Plankton, at least for this.
I love the superhero type things that...
Yeah, with Plankton being the Hulk and
everybody getting like separate names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even though it was like the names were kind of pointless, it was still funny because it was like it showed like what superhero they would be and what they would be named. It's a creative episode with Doomsday, superheroes, SpongeBob. Literally, SpongeBob will be back for Avengers Doomsday.
Okay, but
yeah, this movie.
Yeah,
go watch it if you can. I love this movie, but it is not our number one. Our number one is the best SpongeBob movie of this list. Yes, according to us, is not even. It's funny. Like this whole list has SpongeBob somewhere in the title. This one doesn't have SpongeBob anywhere in the title.
And honestly, he's not even a really big focus.
Oh, besides saving Bikini Bottom Sandy Cheeks movie. But this one, Plankton the movie.
Yeah.
Funny how, like, the trailer makes it seem smaller than it was.
Yeah.
But, man, they made such a big movie out of this.
And honestly, you gotta give it to Netflix in helping make this movie and the fact that they were able to do this on...
This is the cutest movie I've ever seen.
And the best thing is they didn't take the characters and make them like something like not who they were. You could actually see the characters being, what they were in the movie.
And this was based off a SpongeBob episode, another SpongeBob episode, which is a classic formula for Netflix, the Netflix movies.
Yeah.
With like this one being the... I forget the episode name, but
Oh, you can describe it.
The one where Plankton sings "Oh My Karen."
Oh, yeah.
And SpongeBob tries to help him with his marriage. Like, it was based off that episode, obviously.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, did they up everything.
Yeah, and...
They thought more about the little parts that was part of that episode and put in more... They made him go back to high school to remember his past with Karen and how they met and just...
And you gotta give that it wasn't just Plankton hunting the formula, which can be funny, but it gets to be overdone.
Honestly, even Karen thought it was a little overdone.
So this episode addressed that, and I really like that to the point of, it gave, the villains a more standout role.
And Karen, such a big role out of this too. Oh my gosh. And the ending where they tried to destroy the world. It's like, you know what? Forget Bikini Bottom. Let's destroy the world. Only if you go first, my Karen. That was hilarious and the cutest thing.
I do wish they would have made a video game out of this one. That's the only way I think they could have made this better is if you were...
I mean, it's quite an early movie, but... I see what I can see
where you were actually played as Plankton, and
this movie is so cute.
Okay.
I could see a 3D like what you're talking about, like a 3D like SpongeBob,
Yeah.
but as like Plankton, I could see that.
Okay. And
that was the end of the movie list.
well, you may not agree.
Bro, these movies.
We would like to hear your favorite SpongeBob movie,
these movies are both amazing, and like I said from the beginning, like we have a lot of different opinions, wavering opinions on these, but like when I reached the good ones, I knew I kind of felt it. Hit subscribe, hit that like button, share with your friends these amazing SpongeBob movies,
and just tell us your favorite SpongeBob
and least favorite if you want.
Yeah, and tell us how we're wrong if you want.
All right, love you, all comedians. Bye, yeah.